Hello, everyone. My name is Yusuf, and today we will be starting Lecture 5 of the English Conversation course. All right, so without further ado, let's get started. So today's course is about hair care and makeup. All right, so just like certain conversations that someone could have whenever they're doing their hair or applying makeup. All right, so let's just go ahead and get started. Okay, so first off, we have, do you use a comb or a hairbrush? Okay, so you guys know what a comb and a hairbrush is, right? Do you guys know what those things are? They're used to get your hair done. Like you can use a comb to put your hair back whenever it's wet, or you can use a hairbrush to do any type of hairstyle that you really want to do. So, do you use a comb or a hairbrush? And then the answer to this is both. So what this means is that you do both. You use both. You use both a comb and a hairbrush, all right? So, do you use a comb or a hairbrush? And if you do both, what would you say? Does anybody know? You can type it in the chat. If you use both a comb and a hairbrush, what would you say? All right, you would say both. Now, if you only use a comb or you only use a hairbrush, and if someone asks you, do you use a comb or a hairbrush? You could just say, I use a comb or I use a hairbrush, okay? So here in this picture, we have, this is a hairbrush, okay? And this is a comb, all right? So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Okay, look at yourself in the mirror, all right? So look at yourself in the mirror. And then the other person says, what's wrong? All right, so whenever someone says, look at yourself in the mirror, and you don't know why they're asking you to look at yourself in the mirror, but they sound either angry or like disgusted, kind of like, hey, go look at yourself in the mirror. You would ask them what's wrong. If you don't know what they're seeing, you would ask them what's wrong so you can go fix it. So look at yourself in the mirror, and you would say, what would you say? You can write in the chat. If someone asks you, look at yourself in the mirror, and you don't know why, what would you say? Does anybody know? What's wrong? Good job. All right. Great. And in this picture, we have someone, and they are looking in the mirror. All right. Okay, moving on. Your hair is uncombed. Okay. So someone is telling this person that their hair is uncombed, and they say, so what? That means, okay, so like they don't really care. I was like, they could have wanted to have their hair uncombed, or they just don't care that their hair is uncombed. So your hair is uncombed. Now, let's say you wanted to go fix that. Like someone says your hair is uncombed and you want to go fix it. What would you say? If you want to go comb your hair and you want to tell them that you're going to go do that. Does anybody know? You can type it in the chat. Thanks. I will go and comb it. All right. Good job. So yeah, you can tell them, well, thank you for telling me. I will go and comb it. All right. And if you don't want to comb it, what could you say? Like if they say your hair is uncombed and you don't really want to comb it, what would you say? So what? Yeah. All right. Good job. Okay. Comb your hair. All right. So if someone tells you to comb your hair and you already have, what would you say? Oh, and for the last one, or I don't want to. Yeah, you're right. Okay. All right. If someone says comb your hair and you have already done that, what would you say? I combed it. Good job. All right. Now, if you have not combed it yet, what would you say? Like if you're gonna go do that. I will. All right. Great. Okay. Good job. So comb your hair. I have combed it if you've already done it. And if you have not done it, you could say, I will. All right. Good job. All right. Next up, brush your hair. I'm brushing it. Okay. So if someone tells you to brush your hair and you are doing it right now, like if you're doing it right now, what would you say? Does anybody know? If someone tells you go brush your hair and you're already doing that, like you're literally in the middle of brushing your hair, what would you say? Here's a little hint. It's right here. All right. So if someone tells you to brush your hair and you are already brushing it, you would say, I'm brushing it. Okay. Now let's say you don't want to brush your hair and someone tells you to brush your hair. What would you say? I'm brushing it. Okay. Let's say you don't want to brush your hair. What would you say? Thanks, I will brush it. You could say that, okay? If you haven't brushed your hair yet, all right? You could definitely say that. All right. And if you don't want to, like if you think your hair looks fine, I don't. Okay, I don't want to. You could say. Or you could say I think it looks good. Because sometimes whenever you go I don't want to, people can get mad because that's not very respectful. So you could say like I think my hair looks good or something like that. And then it would be like a better way of saying it. But I don't want to. I mean, you can say that if you want. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Do your hair. All right. Someone tells you to do your hair. All right, I like it. All right, good job. So if someone tells you to do your hair and you are currently doing your hair, like you're in the middle of doing it, what do you say? What could you say? It's right here. I'm doing this or I'm doing that. All right, good job. All right, so what is the meaning of do your hair? Okay, so doing your hair, um, well, for girls, doing your hair would be like blow drying your hair, tying it up if you want to. You brush your hair, you can tie it up with those hair bands, so that's doing your hair. Doing your hair is like making it look nice. Okay, so yeah, like shaping. All right, good job. So if you are doing your hair, like if someone says do your hair and you are already doing that, well, what would you say? It's the second sentence right here. Does anybody know? All right, so if someone tells you to do your hair and you are already doing it, you would say, that's what I am doing. All right. So someone says, do your hair, and you're not doing your hair yet, like you haven't started doing your hair. What could you say then? If someone says, do your hair, and you did not start, what could you say? I'm going to. All right, good job. And if someone says, do your hair, and you're already finished, what would you say? I have done it. Good job. All right. Good job. Let's go on to the next one. Have you done your hair? All right. Have you done your hair? And then this person obviously has not done their hair yet. And they say, not yet. I'm still disheveled. Disheveled means like messy. All right. So have you done your hair? Okay. If you have not done your hair, what would you say? If someone asks you, have you done your hair, and you have not done it yet? Not yet. Okay, good job. And if you're doing it right now, like if you're in the middle of doing your hair, what would you say? All right. So if you're in the middle of doing your hair, what could you say? Like if someone says, have you done your hair? And you're just like, you're doing your hair right now. You could say, I'm doing it right now. Okay. So that's like the easiest thing that you could say. You could say other things like I'm in the middle of doing it, or I'm currently doing that. But if you want to take the easiest one, you could say I'm doing that right now. And if you've already finished doing your hair, what could you say? Does anybody know? You can write it in the chat. If you're already done. I have done it. Good job. All right. Okay, let's go to the next one. Have you done your hair? Yes, I have. Look at my hairdo. Okay, so this is like the one that we did before. Have you done your hair? Yes, I have. Look at my hairdo. Okay, so we're not going to really go over this one because we already went over it, or I've already done it. All right, good job. So an hairdo means like hairstyle. Okay. So there's all these different types of hairstyles, and a hairdo is the same thing as a hairstyle. All right. So we're not going to go over this one since we've already done it before. Take the scissors. All right. Take the scissors. So if someone tells you to take the scissors and you go and you get the scissors, what do you tell them? Does anybody know? All right, so if someone tells you to go take the scissors and you go and you grab the scissors and you come back, you could say, I have them, or I've taken them. Okay. All right, let's go on to the next one. Cut my hair with the scissors. All right. So if someone tells you to cut their hair, all right, what would you say? This is just anything that anything that you want to say right now. If someone tells you to cut your hair, what would you say? Okay, stop moving. Good job. All right, so cut my hair with the scissors. You could say, okay, stop moving. You could say, okay, don't move. Or you can just say, okay. All right, so let's go ahead and go on to the next one here. Give me the hair iron. All right, so if someone tells you to give them the hair iron, what would you say? Does anybody know? It's here. All right, good job. Or you can say here it is. So you could say either of those. You can say it's here or here it is. All right. Okay, or here it is. Good job. Good job. Okay, give me the hair iron. It's here or here it is. Good job. Let's go on to the next one here. What are you doing? All right. I'm straightening my hair with the iron. Now, I'm just going to go back for a second. If I said dryer, I don't know if I said dryer, but it is iron, okay? I get those confused a lot, but give me the hair iron, okay? I don't know if I said dryer or not, but if I did, it's iron. Let's go back here. Give me, or sorry, what are you doing, right? I'm straightening my hair with the iron. Okay, so if someone asks you, what are you doing? You could say I'm styling I'm styling my hair. You can say either of those. And with a hair iron, does anybody know what a hair iron does? All right, what can you tell me what a hair iron does? So a hair iron straightens your hair. Okay. So me, I have curly hair, right? So even if I put a hair out, it would go back and it would curl upwards. So if I had a hair iron and I had straightened my hair, all my hair would be going down, right? But then it wouldn't look very good on me because the straight hair doesn't look that nice. But um, it straightens your hair. That's what it does. Okay. So let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Actually, before we move on, and in this picture, you can see what it does. You see this person's hair is getting ironed and it's getting very straight. Are you wearing any makeup today? No, I'm not. Okay. Are you wearing any makeup today? No, I'm not. All right. So if somebody asks you if you're wearing any makeup today and you are, what would you say? Yeah, you could say yes. All right. Now, if you're not wearing, or I will wear makeup today. All right, good. If you're not wearing any makeup, what would you say? If you're not wearing any makeup. No, I am not. Good job. All right. I am not. Great, great. Okay, good job, everyone. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Do you often wear makeup? Okay, that means like, do you wear makeup a lot? And then the person says all the time. Okay, so obviously whenever I say to any of you, do you often wear makeup? And then if you do, you'd say all the time. I'm not saying that you do. Like me personally, I'm not saying that, hey, you wear makeup and you wear it all the time. No, I'm just using this as an example. Okay, so I'm not like actually saying it as if it was like, oh yeah, you wear makeup all the time. Okay, we're just talking about examples. So do you often wear makeup? Okay, and if you do, what would you say? Yes, I do. All right, good job. Now, let's say you don't. If you don't often wear makeup, what would you say? No, I don't. All right, good job. Okay, good job. Let's move on to the next one. All right, where do you store your cosmetics? And cosmetics are like brushes, makeup appliances, stuff like that. You don't like it? Okay, all right. Where do you store your cosmetics? In bags and boxes. All right. So if somebody asks you this question, you wouldn't tell them anything in specific. You would tell them like, hey, like if someone asks you, where do you store your toys? Let's just use that as an example. You would say, I have a box at home that has my toys, or my toys are on the ground, or they're on a shelf, or something like that. Or if somebody says, whenever you go to school, where do you put your books? You would say, I put them in my backpack. Okay. So here someone's asking, where do you store your cosmetics? And the person is saying, in bags and boxes. All right. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Do you know how to apply makeup? And the person says, of course I do. Okay, so if somebody asks you if you know how to apply makeup, okay, we're just using this as an example, and you do know, okay, you do know, what would you say? If you do know how to apply makeup, what would you say? Yes, I do. Good job. Okay. So you would say, yes, I do. All right. So now let's say you don't know how to. What would you say then? No, I don't. Good job. All right. No, I don't. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the next one here. First, wash off any old makeup. Okay, so if you are doing that right now, if you are washing it off right now, what would you say? You can write it in the chat. If you're washing off right now, what would you say? All right, if you're washing off right now, you could say, I'm washing it off, or I wash it, okay? Or I'm washing it off, all right? So, and if you have not washed it off yet, if you have not done it, what could you say? Like if someone says, first wash off any old makeup, and you haven't started yet, what would you say? I'm removing it, okay? I will do it. Okay, good, good, good. All right. So now let's say you're already done. You've already washed it off. What would you say? I washed it. All right, good job. Let's move on to the next one real quick. Then towel your face dry. All right. So if somebody tells you to towel your face dry and you've already done it, what would you say? Like if somebody says dry off your face or towel your face and you're done doing it, you've done it already, you're done doing it, what would you say? Just you can just write it in the chat. You could say, I've toweled it. Good job. So what is the meaning of toweling your face? Okay, so toweling your face is where is where you get a towel, right? And you dry your face off. Okay, so if there's water on your face, you get a towel and you dry it off. That's toweling your face. So I've toweled it. Good job. All right, so if you've already done it, you'd say I've toweled it. And if you have not done it yet, you would say I will towel it or I will dry off. And if you are doing it right now, you would say, I am toweling it or I am drying off. All right. Okay, so let's move on to the next one. Next, open a moisturizing cream jar. All right. Okay, so if somebody tells you to do this and you've already done it, what would you say? I have opened it. All right. I have opened one. I have done it. All right. Good job. And if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't opened it yet, what would you say? I will do it. All right. All right. Good job. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Dip your fingers in the cream. All right. So when someone tells you to do that and you have done it, what would you say? If somebody tells you to dip your fingers in the cream and you've dipped your fingers in already, you would say, I've dipped them. Yep, I have dipped it. Okay, good job. And if you haven't done it yet and you're going to do it, what would you say? I will do it. All right. All right, good job. Okay, let's go to the next and last one here for today. Apply the cream to your face. I'm applying it. All right. So if somebody tells you to apply the cream to your face, okay, what would you say? You would say, you could say, I'm applying it. Yeah, good job. I'm applying it. And if you've already done it, you would say, I've already applied it. And if you're going to do it, you would say, okay, I will apply it. All right. You could say any of those. So that is going to conclude it for this lecture. Thank you all for coming today. I enjoyed having all of your input. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the Telegram group, and my dad will gladly answer those questions. And I will see all of you in later lectures. Okay, goodbye, everyone.